Hello everyone and welcome back to Mysterious Murmurs. I know many of you use these videos to fall asleep, so before you drift off I'd love it if you could leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from around the world. Also don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Story name: The House That Screams at Night. The house had been empty for years. It wasn't abandoned. No, someone always owned it. Someone always tried to live there. But no one ever stayed. Because every night just past midnight, it would start screaming. Not creaking or groaning like old houses do. Not the distant howl of wind through broken shutters. This was a scream. Long, piercing. Human. The kind of sound that made your stomach drop. The kind that curdled your blood, sent ice through your veins, and told your body, run. No one knew where it came from. Some said it was the wind. Some said it was the pipes. But the people who had lived there before? The ones who ran out in the dead of night, never looking back? They knew the truth. The house wasn't haunted. It was alive. And it was suffering. The family that moved in. When the Thompson family moved into the old black house on Hollow Street, the neighbors watched in silence. Some pitied them. Some took bets on how long they'd last. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, their 14-year-old daughter Lily, and their golden retriever Max. They looked like a happy family. A normal family. But Hollow Street had no place for normal. Lily felt it the moment they stepped inside. The air was thick, heavy, like the house was holding its breath. The floorboards groaned under their weight, but not like wood settling. It was something else, like the house was reacting to them, watching. Mrs. Thompson ran a hand along the dusty banister. "It just needs a little love," she said. Lily didn't believe that. Because love doesn't make a house breathe. The first night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., it started. Lily woke up to a sound she'd never heard before, low at first, like a distant cry carried on the wind. She sat up, rubbing her eyes. Max whined at the foot of the bed, his ears pinned back. Then the sound grew. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't the pipes. It was a scream. Not one voice. Many women, children, all shrieking in unison, their cries layering over each other like a chorus of suffering. Lily's blood went cold. She clapped her hands over her ears, but it didn't help. The sound filled the room, vibrating through the walls, rattling the glass in the windows. And then, silence. Lily sat frozen, heart hammering. Max growled, staring at the closet. Something was inside, and it was breathing. A warning in the walls. Lily told her parents the next morning. They brushed it off. New house noises, her dad said. Just the wind, her mom added. But when Lily went downstairs, she saw something that made her stomach twist. Her mother was scrubbing the wall. A deep red stain stretched across the plaster, smeared like something had been dragged. Mrs. Thompson smiled, but her hands trembled. Just some old paint bleeding through. But Lily saw the truth. It wasn't paint. And the stain wasn't there yesterday. The house remembers. The next few nights, the screams continued. Lily tried to record them, but every time she played the tape back, it was just silence. The only proof was Max. Every night at 12:03 a.m., he would bark and whimper, staring at the walls like he saw something Lily couldn't. Then, on the seventh night, something changed. The screams didn't stop at 12:05. They lasted longer. And this time, they spoke. "Help us." Lily's body locked up. The voices, Hundreds of them, layered and overlapping, weeping and begging. "We're still here. They buried us in the walls," Max howled. Then, just as suddenly as it started, silence. Lily lay there, shaking, her breath shallow. And then she heard it. A whisper. Right next to her ear. "Get out. The room that shouldn't exist." The next day, Lily started searching. She ran her hands along the walls, listening for hollow spots. Then, in the hallway near her bedroom, she found it. A seam. Barely noticeable, hidden beneath the old wallpaper. A door. But no handle. No way to open it. Lily grabbed a butter knife from the kitchen and wedged it into the seam, prying at the edges. The wall groaned. Dust rained down. And then, with a final crack, the plaster gave way. A room stretched before her. No furniture. No windows. Just dark stains on the walls. And in the center of the room, the pile of bones. The truth beneath the floor. Lily stumbled back, her stomach lurching. The air was thick with the scent of rot, even after all these years. Her hands trembled as she reached for her phone, flicking on the flashlight. And that's when she saw it. The claw marks. They covered the walls. The floors. The inside of the door. Whoever had been in this room, they had tried to get out. The house screams for a reason. Lily ran to tell her parents. But when she turned, the hallway wasn't empty anymore. A figure stood at the end. Tall, thin, arms stretched too long, fingers curling like hooks. Its mouth hung open. And then, in a voice layered with 100 others, it screamed. Lily's vision blurred. She stumbled back, hands clamped over her ears. The walls shook. The floor buckled beneath her feet. And then, everything went black. A house that feeds. When Lily woke up, she was outside, lying on the cold grass, staring up at the house. The door was open, but something was wrong. Her parents were gone. Max was gone. The house stood silent, waiting. And then, for the first time since they moved in, it didn't scream, because it had already fed, and it was full. For now, Lily sat on the lawn, staring at the house in stunned silence. The front door was open, swaying slightly in the breeze. No sounds, no screams, no parents. Max was gone. She pushed herself to her feet, her legs trembling. "Mom? Dad?" Her voice barely carried in the thick night air. Nothing. The house loomed before her, dark and hollow. It was waiting. Lily wiped her sweaty palms on her jeans. She had two choices, run or go back inside. But where would she run? The neighbors wouldn't believe her. The police would think she was crazy. She had to go back in. She had to find them. Inside the belly of the beast. The moment she stepped over the threshold, the air changed. It was heavier, like the house was breathing around her. The door slammed shut behind her. Lily flinched, but she kept moving. The wooden floors groaned under her weight, the sound echoing through the empty house. She turned into the living room. "Mom?" The couch was overturned. The lamp shattered. The walls. Her stomach twisted. The walls were pulsing, like something was moving underneath them, shifting just beneath the surface. Then she heard it. A faint scratching. It was coming from the hallway. She turned, stepping cautiously toward the sound. The floor beneath her feet felt different. Softer. Like she was walking on something that wasn't wood anymore. She swallowed hard and kept moving. The scratching grew louder, more desperate. The thump. She stopped. The sound came from the hidden room, the one with the bones. Lily sucked in a sharp breath. Slowly she reached out and pushed the door open. Buried but not dead. The smell hit her first. Decay. Her flashlight beam cut through the darkness, illuminating the bones. But something was different. The pile had moved. Some of the bones were scattered, shifted, like something had crawled through them. Lily's breath hitched. A whisper slithered through the room. Lily. She whirled around. The closet door in the corner. It was cracked open. Something was in there. The air grew colder. A deep, wet breath filled the space. And then something stepped out. It wasn't human. Not anymore. Its skin was stretched too tight, its mouth too wide, eyes hollow pits of darkness. Bones jutted out beneath paper-thin flesh, its fingers long and twisted. It had been buried here once, but it had never left. The creature took a step forward. Its jaw snapped open, and it screamed. A house that never lets go. The sound hit Lily like a sledgehammer. It wasn't just loud, it was inside her skull, vibrating through her bones, rattling her teeth. She stumbled backward, slamming into the wall. The walls moved around her, twisting and pulsing like living flesh. The house was awake now. It had fed on her family, and now it wanted her. Lily turned and ran. Through the hallway. Down the stairs. The house groaned, the floors shifting beneath her feet like a throat closing around prey. She could feel the walls breathing. The front door was just ahead. She lunged, and something grabbed her ankle. Bony. The creature yanked. Lily fell hard, her chin smacking against the floor. It dragged her back, its breath wet and rotten against her skin. She clawed at the ground, nails splintering against the warped wood. Then she saw it. The bones in the hidden room. Not just random remains. Not just a burial site. They were arranged, forming a circle. The trap. This house didn't just kill people. It kept them. And she was next. A deal with the devil. Lily twisted, kicking at the creature. It shrieked, stumbling back. This was her chance. She scrambled to her feet, grabbed the first thing she could, a rusty old lamp, and swung it with everything she had. It shattered against the creature's skull. It screeched, reeling backward. The walls shook, the whole house screaming now. Lily didn't stop. She ran. Down the hall. Through the living room. The front door loomed before her. She grabbed the handle. It wouldn't budge. The house wasn't letting her go. But she wasn't dying here. Not like the others. With a scream of her own, she turned and kicked the door. Twice. On the third hit, it exploded open. Lily tumbled onto the porch. The air outside was different. Lighter. Cleaner. She gasped, scrambling to her feet, expecting the creature to follow. But it didn't. It couldn't. The house stood silent now. The walls no longer pulsed. The screams no longer came. Because Lily had made it out. And no one ever had before. Some houses should stay empty. The police never found her parents. Or Max. Or any bodies in the walls. The house was empty when they searched it. No blood. No bones. No proof. Like it had wiped itself clean. Like it was waiting. They didn't believe Lily's story. No one ever does. But the Thompsons were gone. And eventually, another family moved in. And one night at exactly 12:03 a.m., the house started screaming again. If you've enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have a tale of your own or a legend you'd like us to explore? Let us know. You might just hear it next. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Because Here the Darkness is always waiting just for you.